All right, folks, good early evening. You'd never know it for how long this daylight and sun stays around these days, which is quite nice. It's about 7 p.m. Chore's been done for a little bit, but I got some pretty intense work stuff going on. I've been working on things that have to be done for tomorrow. Anyway, I don't want to go into it. Had a little brain freeze, so come out and do a little video here. We're going to take a look at both yards, and basically what we're going to take a look at is the severe thaw down and melting that we've been having, which has been quite substantial. We're also going to take a look at an actual alfalfa baleage was fed today, and heifers are enjoying that quite well. We'll take a look at the cow yard. As you can see, we've got ourselves a mess, and it does not matter how much good road gravel you put down, which I have put down. Oh my God, I should be able to recite how many cubic yards I've put down in the last 3 years to kind of shaping things up a little bit. It doesn't matter, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, you can finally see the the mineral tub here. The packed snow and ice and everything else was so bad on these two troughs that are solely used for grain. The heifers were actually stepping in it. So thank God for a little, yeah. You're seeing a quite amazing hump right here. Now folks, this hump is not all feed waste. There is some feed waste and some bedding and whatnot here, but this is what's on top of snow and ice, and of course sun and warm weather, it takes a lot longer to penetrate it, so therefore there's a large hump here, as this is the main feeding area. There's 3 or 4 grassy spots in that main alfalfa field, and this bale definitely comes from one of those grassy spots. Heifers are happy, they love it. But there's definitely, as you can tell, there's definitely some grass in here. I know exactly where this comes from too. But no harm, no foul. You can tell there's still some frost in here. I don't know if you can see it on this video, but there's still some a little bit of white in here. That's frost. That is not mold, folks. Yeah, you're doing real good. A bunch of little piggies. Yeah, same goes with this water tank. I still don't have this one on frozen. I don't know what I'm waiting on now. Severity is over. But that line underground is still frozen with the automatic tank. In fact, the tank is frozen now itself. It's just a big block of ice, but that's what you get. So I'm still filling up the stock tank, which, yeah, it's going okay. You can actually see the stock tank now. Buildup was at least half of up there. They could barely drink the last quarter of the tank. But things are definitely changing here. I don't know, if I had to guess, I'd say there's probably going to be about a good 60, I don't know, 60 loads of manure out of here. 60 of our loads of manure with the spreader we have. But that's okay. It's every year, and it's quite welcomed. So all's well. Heifers are doing real good. Now, if you caught this morning's video of out in the alfalfa field, where I was actually finally able to grab a bale, for crying out loud, I kind of misstated that I had about 40 days worth of feed if I was to feed every other day on an alfalfa bale, which I intend to do. I stated it didn't matter anyway because I'm kicking the heifers out into the cow yard April 15th. I've changed my mind on that. To save on hay consumption, which I'm going to get to the brass tacks tomorrow with what we have left for our own needs. We are getting nervous. I don't think there's any reason to, but I'm going to find that out for definite tomorrow. I do believe they're going to stay out here till it's probably going to be May now. I want to abide by the alfalfa baleage, keep them in here and keep them on light hay to go through less. Unless time goes by and I feel more confident. When I'm ready, I'll kick them out in the yard with the cows. Yeah, she a muddy mess. But you got to start somewhere, I guess. That's my words of wisdom today. Cows are doing fair, doing real good. Great possibility, if it's a little early, great possibility of seeing that first calf drop here in about 2 weeks, maybe 2.5. And of course, this is what I'm going to call the barn's backyard. This is where all the corn silage business takes place, and of course this has got a long ways to go before we can get in there and start feeding corn silage, which we can't do anytime soon anyway, because they're going to be kicked up onto the south hill, and getting in there is going to be a bear. We get in there from up on the top of the hill. You can't get there from this way, trust me. So that's just going to be time. We all have lots of time, right? Yeah. Yeah. Hey, 1010. Filled up both mineral tubs today. I had to take a run to the feed mill. Wow, they hit that hard. Had to take a run to the feed mill. Pay a, 1-2 weeks of lingering bill. I try and tally that up every week or two if it can be had. Got some extra minerals, some other stuff. Filled up all the tubs here this afternoon, right after lunch. But yeah, you can tell the cow yard's getting pretty soupy, real soupy. I do believe in a small amount of time to come, maybe even the next day or two, because we do have extra straw, I am probably gonna create a straw bed over by the snow. Now, I know that doesn't make much sense, folks, but trust me, it's a lot better than trying to cover this with straw. It'll be back to this condition within a day or two. So, yeah. They're doing fair. They've been on one hell of a feeding frenzy. It seems to have calmed down just a little bit. I don't know what to attribute that to. Maybe just time of year, the weather. Of course, calves are coming. Maybe some instincts. I don't know. But things are fair. If I was a guessing man, which I hate guessing, I'd have to say there's easily probably 80 loads of manure here, which are quite welcomed. I have 2 fields I would really like to completely cake full of manure, and that's last year's sorghum field and last year's corn field, which is going to end up being an oat field and a sorghum field. So that's going to take a hell of a lot of manure, and there's definitely not going to be a shortage of that this year. We also got two other areas. If you keep up with the videos, you'll know that I fed back there in the back pasture for oh hell, at least 40 days, 45 days. So there's a healthy amount to pick up there. And then the back cow lot, I know my words are jacked here, folks. We fed back there for probably 30, 40 days plus as well. So there is a lot of manure to pick up this spring, but it's all welcomed. Yeah, won't be long here, and the tall muck boots are going to have to come out. After this video, I gotta shut that water down and collect the hose. We do have freezing temperatures at night still. Some damn near down to 10 degrees. So any hoses that are out during the day must be picked up. You know, if you don't want to fight them. Need to be picked up, stowed away. Which isn't a huge deal. Yeah, the year is definitely changing. Threat of any snow on roofs now is a complete zero, which is a big relief. That was our biggest problem child way up here, which we call the new addition to the barn, which is, you know, 25, 30 years old. That was our biggest threat, but turned out okay. All right, well, I got a little little announcement. It's not much. I've stated a couple dozens of times on my videos my 2 cents on braggers or tough talkers. I've got no use for them. I could go into detail. I don't think I need to. Well, I tell you what, I need to bite my words a little bit. I did a little tough talking. And yeah, we're talking about the TMR here. I decided myself to put an end to that the TMR ordeal here this spring. Based on, of course, the condition of the heifer lot, how high packed up it got, and everything else in our unbearable winter that just finally came to a little bit of a halt, not only but a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. That, and I don't like wasting people's time. Don't do it. And I'm not going to waste people's time for my benefit, just to get a kick out of testing out and running a TMR for a few weeks. There's a lot of people who go through a lot of motions to make something like that happen, and I'm not about that, because I can't stand people that do that to me or try to. I don't let them. They try. That's not happening. So long story short, I did a little tough talking, and I knew better. It was on the tip of my tongue not to tell you about the TMR coming until it was reality, until it was here. And that's a mistake I'm not going to make again. If there's one thing I don't do, is that's lead people on, not only in life, of course, but with this channel. That's for idiots. Or somebody with a point to prove, or somebody that's lacking in a certain department. Okay? But yeah, I'm a little guilty of it. I am admitting to you that I canceled that possibility just as of yesterday afternoon on my way home. Thought about it, and no, not doing it. It doesn't mean that we're not going to go after this for in the fall or this winter coming up. I have full intentions of doing so, and I'm not going to tell you about it until it's here. But all is well. Anybody looking forward to TMR videos and doing some tests and everything else with it, and with the feed, and My great apology to you to leading you on, which was unintentional. I always have the best intentions. It's not happening because it can't happen. These heifers aren't going to be here for a very long time, and I'm kicking them out to the cow yard. And I'm not wasting anybody's time. Period. So, yeah, that's kind of the unfortunate announcement that embarrasses me just a little bit, but you got to do what's right. You got to kind of do what you see fit with what you have. I mean, just look at this. Yeah, that buildup's going to go down, but there's just not enough suitable time for all those motions to take place. There's just not enough time. So that's it. That is it. All right, folks. It's Thursday, which means tomorrow's Friday. I haven't done a shout out Friday for going on 2 weeks. I was AWOL last weekend, so obviously I didn't do one. So stay tuned for a shout out Friday video tomorrow, and anything else we can kind of conjure up. Maybe we'll even take a good look at the bale yard. Let me get out of that sun. We'll take a good look at the bale yard, see what kind of condition it's in now, and I'll give you a good look at how many bales we're looking at. We've gone through a lot here lately. Yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll make it fun, see what we can do, and that's about it. Welcome to our mess, but we're a lot better off than a lot of other people. A lot of crap going on here these days, especially west of me. I already said something like that on a video here this morning about Nebraska, Iowa, some other places, and I'm sure that there's other states. I know that there is, and if there's not yet, there's going to be. If I'm not mistaken, Ohio always suffers pretty greatly come springtime. Hopefully not too bad this year, but yeah, all that corn and all that cattle, and the loss is just sickening. It's sickening. So I'm going to keep that in mind. I hope you guys do the same, guys and girls. Before we start moaning and complaining about stuff, I'm just going to turn the camera around and say, you know what, it's not that bad. There's people that are losing their livelihoods and everything they've worked for the last possibly couple of generations. So we're going to leave on that thought. And, everybody have a good evening. We'll talk to you tomorrow at some point. Talk to you sooner and later.